Whenever asked what the best group in anime is, typically people say the Straw Hat Pirates, which I agree, right? There are a lot of decent groups out there, the Black Bulls, Z Fighters, the Akatsuki, and many more, but I just think nobody compares to the Straw Hats because they're so freaking good, and Oda did a phenomenal job of creating them. Now, within these pirates, not everyone is perfect, right? I mean, that's just in life in general, but I would say our level of characters have definitely grown a bunch since the start of the series. I mean, we've had thousands of 1,000 chapters, 1,000 episodes, so we've seen everything that they've gone through and a lot of things that they've changed and a lot of things that they've grown as individuals and as a group together. So in this video, we'll talk about the growth of the crew and how they've grown as individuals and as a group, and how they've become the powerful Yonko crew that they now are. If you guys enjoy regular anime content, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's see how much the Straw Hat Pirates have grown since the start of the series. The first thing I want to talk about is their individuality, how each crewmate has their own individuality. All of them have different goals, dreams, and ambitions where they're different from the standard typical pirate crew they just are, right? The way that order goes around, the way that, the boss ends up, or the captain ends up talking to his crew, the way that they act is just very unique from your standard typical pirate crew. And all of them help each other try and achieve their goals, where a scene that really stands out to me is going up Reverse Mountain, where we have the crew, the original five of Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, Nami, and Sanji, and they're putting their foot on the barrel where they're saying their goals. Luffy, he wants to become the Pirate King, and he has a bigger dream than that, than even we don't know about. I believe in chapter 1060 something or 59, it was recent that it came out that, and the community's been talking about Luffy's true dream. Then there's Zoro becoming the world's greatest swordsman, Sanji finding the all blue, Usopp become a brave warrior of the sea, Nami to draw a map of the world, and then not just them, but even more dreams with the other Straw Hats that we figured out later in the series, with Nico Robin wanting to learn the true history, Chopper curing all diseases, there's Brook, to see Laboon again, there's Jinbei, humanity and fishmen, that they can come together. And then lastly, we have Frankie, who wants to build a dream ship and travel it with his friends. Where I think Zoro says it best, that I guess you can use this for everybody, but since it was like him who used this quote, I'm gonna just talk about him, where he went out to sea, devoting his life to his goal of being the world's greatest swordsman, where he put everything he has into it, which even means death. So if he were to die, right, that means that he did everything he could in order to achieve that goal, and that's something that he's striving for, where it was proven that, in achieving his goal, he could die, because he almost did in that fight against Mihawk. It shows how passionate that not just him, but they are towards achieving their goals. And I think the episode was 982. It just seeing all the crew going along with Luffy, knowing how he is, and just them being together just showcases how much they've grown throughout the series. Now, when you look at the beginning of the series, most people didn't think they were pirates, probably because they were really young. I mean, Luffy was like 17, Zoro and Sanji were 19, Usopp was 17, and Nami was 18, I believe. So a lot of people thought that they were just kids messing around, and somehow Luffy got a bounty of 30 mil by mistake. It was supposed to be 3 mil or something along those lines, where, like I said, now, they've grown into this ferocious crew. The reason they've done that is because everybody knows their role. When we have this scene in Alabasta with Chopper and Zoro, where Chopper basically asks what his role, what he thinks he should be doing, where the crew's different and what is true teamwork, where Zoro, he's like, well, what do you really think teamwork is? Is it sticking out for each other? Is it watching each other's back? everyone knows their role, what they can and can't do, and that they respect each other for it. For example, Nami, she's the only one who can navigate. Sanji's the only one that can really cook. Usopp and Frankie, they're the ones that invent stuff. Chopper can heal and, provide medicine, stuff like that. Brook's the only one that can sing. Jinbei is the best helmsman. Robin is the only one who really knows about the world and about history. So they know their roles. They know that I guess they're the best in what they do, that they benefit when the proper person is doing the role, and they do whatever they can do and help each other out. If I were to give an example, like, nobody's expecting Usopp or Nami or the weaker Straw Hats to fight someone like Kaido, like Blackbeard, like Shanks, right? Where, look at Dressrosa. Usopp, he knew his role. He knew that he had to snipe Sugar from all the way across the map, where even if Luffy noticed or not, Usopp was supposed to fulfill that role, right? Sugar was not necessarily the most physically strong opponent. However, she's somebody that was difficult to deal with because of her devil fruit, and Usopp knew that, and he had to take her out. Same with Perona, right? He's the only one who could deal with her because he was always used life negatively, where Frankie, Zoro, and Sanji, they couldn't handle her. So everybody knows their role and what they should do. Where, look at Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, the Monster Trio. They're the ones that fight like the super strong opponents, the Yonko, the captain, the first, second commander, stuff like that. Where weak members, yes, they fight too, but they only fight opponents that, I guess you could say are closer on their level. Specifically, like, if you want to look at Sanji, a lot of people talk about him and women and how he should hit them in order to develop, where I disagree. He was trained and it was implemented in him at a young age not to hit women, so he can't. And although it does hinder him in battle, right? For example, it's Cauliflower and Black Maria. Nami and Robin, they had to go in and step up. Nami fighting Cauliflower, Robin, he called out to her to fight Black Maria, where the crew understands that Sanji can't fight them. Where Sanji, he understands that too, where he tries to avoid going after women or matching up with women, and he fights better matchup, which he fights people that he's supposed to. For example, Queen, for example, Chopra. Another example of crew knowing their role, we're going back to Usopp. Look at him at NS Lobby. If you guys didn't know, I made a video like 2 years ago about hating Usopp, and I still don't necessarily like him the most, but he's definitely not my least favorite Straw Hat anymore. The more I read and the more I rewatch One Piece. But one thing I want to say, Usopp, he lost a job, right? In NS Lobby, Usopp was a hindrance for a lot of it. Putting the handcuffs on Zoro, and he's not really the best fighter. But Sanji was like, yo, you're a sniper, do what you do best. And Usopp, he didn't really understand that at first, but then he realized that he's the one to, I guess his matchup was technically Spendam, because he ended up sniping different Marines and Spendam, and he ended up sniping her cup. So he understood what he was supposed to do. Sanji understood that as well. So just the fact that both of them understand and equally understand each other, it just shows how much they've grown together as a crew. They all rally around their captain, where, look at Fishman Island, when Nami, she was like, they already knew that Luffy was going to stick to the plan, so we're already going to be in position to do this. And they really know each other, and they can feel each other without even have to verbally say anything. The time skip, we're going to talk about Luffy a little bit and how good of a leader he is. I did an in-depth video about this kind of recently, I think within the past 2 weeks, so I'll leave it in the description. But a lot of people were questioning, was he worth following? Because Luffy's an idiot, right? He does a lot of stupid stuff, but could they really trust him? And now they fully do. These characters, they truly believe that he's going to become the Pirate King, and they all trained to get stronger, to get better at what they do during the time skip for Luffy's sake. We also have individual battles that characters deal with. Nami at Arlong Park, trying to ask for help instead of doing stuff on her own. Chopper with humans, with Dr. Hayek, and how he was always mistreated, and now he's finally accepts humans. There's Sanji with Red Leg Zeph, and how he believed that he had to stay with him in order to pay back his debt of, losing his leg. And then Whole Cake Island, how he sacrificed his happiness for the sake of the crew. That's what he thought he was doing. Usopp dealing with him and Luffy, and how they fought over the Mary, and that Usopp had to become a man and apologize, in order to get back to the crew. There's Robin wanting to live, and how everybody told her how she was supposed to die. There's Frankie with Tom and Iceberg, how he felt indebted to, the reason why Tom died, which technically, I mean, it is true, was because of Frankie's weapons and the fact that he was like, yo, in order to make up for it, I have to stay here. Brooke, you know, he was all alone. He gained friends with, you know, after his crew died with the Straw Hats. And Zoro's a little bit different. It's a little bit unique. Instead of like him being saved or something like that, it's more like, you know, he goes out and saves others, right? For example, there's Mihawk with, you know, asking him to train him his rival for the sake of his captain, and nothing happened. Him throwing away his own ambitions for the sake of others, especially Luffy. And Jinbei, he doesn't really have much because, well, he's just a new addition on the crew, but he's the one who, you know, he wasn't the biggest fan of humans and now he respects them, especially like Luffy, you know, and Whitebeard and Ace. If they're good people, Jinbei generally wants to help them and serve them and, you know, do anything he can to help them. And Luffy, as a captain, he's more cautious. He's still, you know, a hothead, but for the crew's sake, look at Vivi when she was like, you can't just be, you know, going out punching people because some people could be, you know, hurt, or sometimes you have to do stuff for the sake of others. So Luffy understands that and is more cautious for the crew's sake. So when you look at the Straw Hats growth, they've grown a lot since the start of the series. They went from being mature, well, immature little kids and, you know, a young group to now a Yonko crew, where they've grown, they understand their roles, and they know what they can and can't do. But let me know how you guys feel about their growth in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.